What if I told you that rusty colander in your basement could become the centerpiece of your garden? What if those mismatched teacups, that broken chair, or those empty tin cans sitting in your recycling bin could transform into stunning outdoor art that makes neighbors stop and stare? 6 months ago, I walked through a thrift store with $5 in my pocket and a vision. Today, my garden looks like it belongs in a design magazine, and people refuse to believe I didn't hire a professional landscaper. The truth? Every single piece of art in my outdoor space came from thrift stores, garage sales, or my own junk drawer. Welcome to Daily Garden Fix, where we turn forgotten objects into garden magic. If you believe beautiful outdoor spaces shouldn't cost a fortune and that the best art tells a story, hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. Today, I'm revealing over 20 genius thrift hacks that will completely transform how you see everyday objects. Let's dive into the magic of creating something gorgeous from what others call junk. Hack 1. Teacup Bird Feeders. Picture a vintage teacup hanging delicately from a tree branch filled with seeds with finches perched on its rim. This whimsical feeder costs maybe $2 at a thrift store and creates instant cottage garden charm. Grab any teacup and saucer set. Using waterproof adhesive, attach the cup at an angle to the saucer so birds can easily access seeds. Drill a small hole through the saucer and thread strong twine or wire for hanging. Fill with birdseed and hang from a low branch. The beauty is in the imperfection. Chipped cups work perfectly. Mismatched patterns add character. I have 6 of these throughout my garden in different colors and patterns, creating a collection that feels curated and intentional. This project took me 20 minutes total and cost $8 for 4 feeders. The joy of watching birds discover them? Absolutely priceless. They add vintage charm while serving a genuine purpose. Hack 2. Colander Hanging Planters. Old metal colanders make the most perfect hanging planters because drainage is built right in. I found 3 at a thrift store for $1 each, and they've become my favorite garden feature. Clean your colander thoroughly. If you want color, spray paint in cheerful hues, though I love the rustic metal look. Line the interior with coconut coir or moss to hold soil while allowing water to drain through those convenient holes. Fill with potting mix and plant trailing flowers like petunias, lobelia, or ivy. The plants grow through the holes, creating this gorgeous cascading effect. Attach chains or rope to the handles and hang from hooks, tree branches, or porch beams. Within weeks, the colander becomes completely hidden under blooms. Nobody guesses what's underneath all that beauty. $3 in colanders, plus soil and plants, created hanging gardens that would cost $50 at a garden center. Hack 3. Drawer Mosaic Planters. Old wooden drawers from broken dressers become stunning planters when decorated with broken tile mosaics. This is where damaged dishes find their second life as garden art. Find a wooden drawer at any thrift store, usually under $5. Carefully break old tiles, plates, or ceramic pieces into small fragments. Always wear safety gloves. Using outdoor adhesive, arrange tile pieces on the drawer's front and sides in whatever pattern appeals to you. Once dry, apply grout between pieces, wipe clean, and seal. Drill drainage holes in the bottom, fill with soil, and plant succulents or annuals. The mosaic catches sunlight beautifully, turning a plain drawer into a work of art. I made 3 of these for about $12 total in materials. They sit on my porch steps, creating focal points that guests always photograph. The broken pieces tell stories while holding new life. Hack 4. Silverware Wind Chimes. Mismatched silverware from thrift stores creates the most charming wind chimes with gentle musical sounds. This project uses literally the cheapest items in any thrift store. Collect forks, spoons, and knives in various sizes. You can leave them as is for vintage appeal or polish them for shine. Drill small holes near the handle ends or use strong wire to wrap around handles. Hang silverware at varying lengths from an old wooden hanger, embroidery hoop, or piece of driftwood using fishing line or thin chain. Space them so they touch gently when wind blows, creating soft musical notes. 10 pieces of silverware cost me $3. The wooden hanger was 50 cents. This $4 wind chime hangs on my porch, creating peaceful sounds that make me smile every time the breeze picks up. Hack 5. Vintage frame succulent gardens. Old picture frames become living wall art when transformed into vertical succulent gardens. This project looks incredibly complex, but it's surprisingly simple. Find a deep picture frame at a thrift store, ideally with a few inches of depth. Remove the glass and backing. Attach wire mesh or chicken wire across the back opening. This becomes your planting base. Layer the frame with landscape fabric, add soil, then carefully tuck succulent cuttings through the mesh from the front while the plants root into the soil behind. Lay flat for a few weeks while roots establish, then hang vertically. One frame costs $3. Succulents propagated from my existing plants cost nothing, and I created wall art that rivals expensive living frames, selling for over $100. This becomes a true conversation piece. Hack 6. Boot and shoe planters. Old rain boots, work boots, or even children's shoes become whimsical planters that add personality and humor to gardens. Thrift stores always have orphaned boots for under $2. Drill drainage holes in the soles. Fill with potting soil and plant colorful annuals, herbs, or trailing plants. The key is embracing the quirky, unexpected nature of boot planters. I line mine along my fence, creating a collection that tells stories. Kids' rain boots with cartoon characters, my husband's old work boots, a pair of vintage leather boots. Each one holds different plants and memories. This hack costs essentially nothing if you use boots already in your home or just a few dollars from thrift stores. The smiles they generate from visitors are worth far more than any expensive garden ornament. Hack 7. Chair planters. Broken chairs with missing seats become perfect planter stands that add height and vintage charm to gardens. Every thrift store has old chairs nobody wants. Look for chairs with interesting backs or unique shapes, even if the seats are damaged. Remove the seat completely or leave it if sturdy. Place a wire basket, ceramic pot, or planted container where the seat was. Paint chairs in colors that complement your garden or leave them weathered for rustic appeal. I have chairs scattered throughout my garden holding different plants, creating varied heights and visual interest. $5 thrift store chairs, plus plants I already had, created dimensional garden displays that look professionally designed. The vertical element draws eyes upward, making small gardens feel larger. Hack 8. Wooden crate vertical gardens. Old wooden crates, stacked and secured, create rustic vertical gardens perfect for small spaces. Thrift stores and produce markets often give these away free. Stack crates in pyramid formations or mount them to walls as shelving. Secure with screws or strong adhesive. Fill with potted plants, herbs, or use the crates themselves as planters by lining with landscape fabric. The varying depths and sizes create interesting displays. I painted some crates in coordinating colors while leaving others natural wood. The mix looks intentional and curated. Free crates plus plants created an entire vertical garden wall on my fence for $0 in structure costs. This same look would cost hundreds in purchased vertical garden systems. Hack 9. Mason jar herb garden. Vintage mason jars become charming hanging herb planters perfect for small spaces or kitchen windows. Thrift stores always have jars for under $1. Wrap heavy-gauge wire around jar necks, creating handles for hanging. Add small pebbles for drainage, potting soil, and herb cuttings or small plants. Basil, mint, parsley, and thyme work perfectly. Hang jars at varying heights from a wooden board mounted to a wall or individually from hooks. The clear glass lets you see root growth, which is actually quite beautiful. Water drains through to jars below or into trays. 8 jars cost $6, created a functional herb garden that provides fresh ingredients while looking like intentional farmhouse decor. The vintage glass adds character modern planters can't match. Hack 10. Tire planters. Old tires get bad press, but painted and planted, they become bold garden statements. Many tire shops give away used tires free. Clean tires thoroughly and paint with outdoor paint in bright, cheerful colors. Stack them, lay them flat, or cut them into decorative shapes. Fill with soil and plant flowers, vegetables, or herbs. The key is confident color choices. I did mine in rainbow gradients, bold geometric patterns, and solid brights. The playful approach turns potential eyesores into garden focal points. Free tires plus $15 in paint created substantial planters that would cost hundreds if purchased. They're weather-resistant, durable, and surprisingly attractive when done with intention. Hack 11. Wine bottle garden edging. Empty wine bottles become stunning garden bed edging that sparkles in sunlight. Start saving bottles or ask restaurants for their empties. Dig a narrow trench along bed edges about 6 inches deep. Place bottles upside down, burying necks halfway. Pack soil tightly around each bottle. The glass bases create colorful, reflective borders. Mix colored glass for rainbow effects, use all one color for uniformity, or create patterns. Green, brown, and clear bottles create beautiful combinations. The glass catches light during the day and can be backlit at night for extra magic. Completely free using collected bottles, this edging would cost significant money in purchased materials. It keeps grass from invading beds while creating unique visual interest. Hack 12. Vintage lantern planters. Old lanterns from thrift stores become romantic planter displays perfect for porches and patios. Look for lanterns with missing or damaged glass panels. Remove remaining glass safely, line the bottom with landscape fabric, add soil, and plant small flowers, succulents, or trailing ivy. The lantern frame creates architectural interest while plants grow through openings. Leave lanterns in weathered metal finishes or paint them. I clustered 3 different sizes on my porch steps, each holding different plant varieties. At night, I sometimes add battery candles among the plants for soft glow. 3 lanterns cost $9 total, created porch displays that look like expensive imports. The vintage metalwork adds character impossible to replicate with new items. Hack 13. Broken china stepping stones. Chipped plates and broken dishes become beautiful mosaic stepping stones that add personality to garden paths. This is perfect for dishes too damaged to donate. Use concrete stepping stone molds or improvise with shallow containers. Mix concrete according to directions and pour into molds. Before it sets completely, press broken china pieces into the surface, creating mosaic designs. Let concrete cure fully, remove from molds, and seal with outdoor concrete sealer. These custom stones add color and personal history throughout your garden. I used my grandmother's broken dishes, creating stepping stones that honor her memory. Materials cost about $10 for enough concrete to make 6 stones. Comparable mosaic stones cost $40 to $60 each at garden stores. Mine carry stories money can't buy. Hack 14. Salad spinner hanging herb garden. Broken salad spinners become clever hanging herb gardens perfect for small spaces or kitchen windows. Thrift stores always have spinners for under $1. Wrap heavy gauge wire around jar necks, creating handles for hanging. Add small pebbles for drainage, potting soil, and herb cuttings or small plants. Basil, mint, parsley, and thyme work perfectly. Hang jars at varying heights from a wooden board mounted to a wall or individually from hooks. The clear glass lets you see root growth, which is actually quite beautiful. Water drains through to jars below or into trays. 8 jars cost $6, created a functional herb garden that provides fresh ingredients while looking like intentional farmhouse decor. The vintage glass adds character modern planters can't match. Hack 15. Bicycle wheel trellis. Old bicycle wheels become stunning circular trellises for climbing plants. Look for damaged bikes at thrift stores or bike shops often discard bent wheels. Remove tire and inner tube, leaving just the spoked wheel. Clean thoroughly and spray paint if desired. Mount to fence, wall, or secured to a garden post. Plant climbing vines like morning glories, sweet peas, or clematis at the base. Train vines through the spokes as they grow, creating a living wreath effect. The circular design creates beautiful focal points. Free or very cheap wheels, plus a few dollars in paint, created garden art that looks professionally designed. As plants fill in, the wheel becomes completely covered in blooms, creating magical circular gardens. Hack 16. Teapot Fountain. Vintage teapots become charming water features with simple pump additions. This creates soothing garden sounds without expensive fountain costs. Find a teapot at thrift stores for just a few dollars. Add a small submersible pump inside, threading the cord out the spout. Place in a waterproof basin filled with water and decorative stones. Water pumps from the pot, creating gentle trickling sounds. Surround with plants and stones for natural integration. The vintage teapot adds character while the water movement attracts birds. One teapot for $3, a small pump for $12, created a water feature that rivals $100 fountains. The gentle sounds create peaceful ambiance throughout my garden. Hack 17. Gutter Strawberry Planter. Old rain gutters become perfect hanging strawberry or lettuce planters. Habitat restores and construction sites often have leftover pieces. Cut gutter sections to desired length and seal ends with caps. Drill drainage holes every 6 inches. Mount to sunny fence or wall using brackets. Fill with lightweight potting mix and plant strawberries, lettuce, or herbs. The long, narrow design maximizes growing space while keeping fruits off-ground away from pests. Harvesting is easy at waist height. 10 feet of gutter for $5 created space for 20 strawberry plants that would have required expensive raised beds otherwise. Fresh berries from thrift store materials feels like pure victory. Hack 18. Chandelier Planter. Old chandeliers become spectacular hanging planters that add elegance to gardens. Look for damaged chandeliers missing crystals or with broken wiring. Remove all electrical components safely. The arms that once held lights now hold small pots or planted containers. Secure pots with wire or hang them from chains. Plant trailing flowers in each arm position. As plants grow and cascade, the chandelier becomes a living sculpture. The crystal or metal framework adds sparkle while plants provide color. One $15 thrift store chandelier transformed into a garden centerpiece worth hundreds. It hangs from my pergola, creating an elegant focal point that constantly generates compliments. Before we finish, here are 5 rapid-fire bonus ideas. Paint old ladders and lean against walls as vertical plant stands. Transform cheese graters into candle lanterns. Use vintage washboards as vertical succulent gardens. Hang old windows as garden mirrors to create depth illusions. Stack painted bricks as garden edge borders, painted to look like book spines. The key to all these projects is seeing beyond what objects were designed for and imagining what they could become. Every thrift store visit is a treasure hunt. Every garage sale holds potential. Your own basement or attic probably contains garden art waiting to be discovered. Start small. Pick one project that excites you and gather materials this weekend. Let your garden tell your story through objects that have lived other lives. Create something unique that can't be bought at any store. 20+ ways to transform thrift store finds and household junk into gorgeous garden art. Total investment? Maybe $50 to $100 depending on what you already own. The value added to your garden? Absolutely priceless. The beauty of thrift store garden art goes beyond saving money. It's about sustainability, creativity, and personal expression. Every piece has a story. Every object represents rescue from landfills. Your garden becomes a living gallery of transformation. Which hack are you most excited to try? Drop a comment and let me know. And if you create any of these projects, tag me on social media so I can see your creative genius. I love celebrating your transformations. If this inspired you to see thrift stores differently, smash that like button. Share this with friends who love DIY projects or need budget garden inspiration. Subscribe to Daily Garden Fix and hit the notification bell for more creative outdoor content. Thank you for joining me today.
Now get out there, rescue some forgotten objects, and create garden magic. Your outdoor space is waiting for your unique creative vision. Until next time, keep growing and keep creating beautiful things from what others overlook.